Good morning, preppers. This is Perrin Lovett, and welcome to the Prepper Post News, courtesy of Freedom Prepper. And this is your Friday, November the 6th edition, the year of our Lord 2020. And I'm doing something new, always trying new things, standing up, and I decided to clean it up. I got my buzz cut so my fast helmet fits better, and I'm wearing a tie for you guys. And I'm also standing. I hope this works. I've got my information over here, so hopefully I can look at the camera. I'm sure you're going to tell me if this goes awry. I guess it already is. My tie, I never wear ties. I can't stand ties unless they're Christmas ties. Let me show you. We've got, I love Christmas ties. Even the secular, Walmart Christmas. We've got Santa, and I guess that's Donder, and they are delivering fresh, newly found ballots for Joe Biden, because that's what we're going to be talking about, because we are still in this limbo. A confession, I have to go be the keynote speaker at the National Paperclip Convention, so I had to pre-record this very, very early so we could get it to post-production. And I'm honestly relying on stuff that I found yesterday. However, I don't see this changing today, over the weekend. And we're going to have a contested debacle, similar to Bush versus Gore, for a little while now. But it's all going to work out. It's all going to work out. And I have a special request. Just to briefly explain, what do we mean by an American contested election? And I'm going to get to that. Let's take a look right now at the latest map that I have. Right now it is, and I've got, I don't know how this is going to work. Biden at 264 electoral votes to Trump's 214. That's where it's been standing since the night before I talked to you after the election. We've been frozen in time, and let me just scroll over some of these states. I'm looking at the Politico map. I'm going to have some of these links up at freedomprepper.com as always. Alaska is a tiny state with only 3 votes, although every vote does count. 50% of the expected votes are in. Nevada, 75% of the votes are in. Over in the Eastern time zone, we've got Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania that are still toss-ups, and they're still counting ballots. I know they get some that come in late, but how could 45 of the other states be done? And isn't it interesting that in these critical razor-thin margin states where everything is on the line, all of a sudden, Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning, they stopped counting the votes. Georgia is a less than half a point, point and a half. North Carolina, getting into the looks like the 2-point range in Pennsylvania, and we've had some states that were looking Trump that have been called Biden. However, we've got the contest going on now. Trump has filed a series of lawsuits, and I've got some links as to why he did that. But I want to go back to my predictions. Maybe didn't pan out so well. I made 3 maps well in advance of this show. Back in October, I came up with what I thought was really going to happen: best case for Trump and best case for Biden. And right now, vote-wise, we're sitting on the best case for Biden with more than enough votes to throw this either way in limbo. And I don't know what happened as well. I'm not going to check. Atlanta, Fulton County is still shuffling through the votes. As far as I can remember, it's Fulton and DeKalb counties, the 2 big metro Atlanta counties. And it's the big metro counties, Philadelphia, up in Michigan, Wisconsin, that always mess these things up. Paul Craig Roberts, speaking of that, has an interesting chart that I'm going to try to get up here about what happened in Michigan. And he wonders if this isn't a stolen election or a election theft in progress. Trump hinted as much whenever he spoke early Wednesday morning. What you had in Michigan was a Trump lead, 1 or 2 points, and the chart shows the votes that are coming in. And I'm going to try to, I know we're going to have the chart. I'm going to link to it. I'm sure we can probably put it up right about here somewhere if I'll get out of the way. But the votes are coming in, on kind of a nice gentle arc. Trump is slowly pulling away, and Biden is coming up, and then all of a sudden, a straight line increase. And that's interesting. How did it happen? It appears that, I think in Michigan, the law says that to be counted, a ballot has to be in the box no later than 8 o'clock on the night of the election. And yet, sometime around, 3 a.m. Wednesday, well after the legal deadline, Postal Service trucks pull up to the polls, and they unload all these absentee and mail-in ballots, like 150,000 of them. And this is coming from all over multiple metropolitan county areas. And you got to think that in America today, that's a lot of diversity, everybody's favorite word. You've got black people, white people, old people, young people, Republicans, Democrats, rich, poor, everybody. Yeah, they send in ballots, and so they all come in, and every single last one of them is for Biden, and zero after the fact votes for Trump. Anytime you get a vertical increase on any kind of measurement, that's a statement. I mean, think about it. If you have a Geiger counter or a seismometer, and it's going along, and all of a sudden big spike, it means something happened. So this is why Trump. This is the election contest now that's going to court. We have voting irregularity alleged by both sides, and this is nothing new. But when it's, when we're stuck, when this election is jammed, just like 2000, the candidates go to court to try to sort out. Trump obviously wants to freeze everything in time at 7:59 or at 8 p.m. on election night when he was winning. And maybe they had, votes in the hopper under lockdown that they hadn't counted yet. The courts will sort this out as they did in 2000. And, nobody is going to be really happy about it. But Vox Day, as always, has a great inspirational point about if you're on Team Republican, trusting the president, and, it's Friday. I'm still thinking that Trump has won, and that maybe the legal challenge is going to show that. But you never know, and life will go on in these 50 states regardless. But I'm going to link to these. Well, I just lost that one, but nope. Yep, I did. I lost it. But it's going to be interesting what happens. If you live long enough, you go through these. And back to our indirect democratic method of electing presidents. We're talking about votes in the popular vote. And most states, every state is different, but the popular vote generally guides towards one slate of electors or another. And in some states, they are ironclad bound to honor the majority wishes. Others, they're not. Sometimes they're restricted, but they break the law. Anything can happen. So we're just gonna wait and see. But we should know something. I'm trying to think back to 2000. I was in Florida the day after when the Chads were all hanging around, and I went up to the courthouse in Palm Beach, and there were like 15,000 people trying to get in the door to watch whatever was going on, and I hung around for maybe 5 minutes and said, to heck with this. And it worked out as it did. Assuming that, Trump can pull this off, do we then finally get some action on the things he's been talking about? And if it doesn't go his way, I'll just throw this out. Even a lame duck president, that's a president who only has the remainder of one term and then he's out. Even a lame duck, can still get things done in 2 months. Interesting, and we're going to find out. I've also, a couple more stories. I saw this, and I'm going to link to it at Big League Politics. We have a leak of text messages between the Kenosha, Wisconsin district attorney and a BLM activist. And if you recall, Kenosha was home to more riots this summer, and that's where Kyle Rittenhouse came under violent attack from a large mob of Antifa thugs, and he had to defend himself. And now, always pay attention to these lessons, had to defend himself. It's all on video, looks clear as a bell to me. He's charged with murder, but it appears that the DA may allegedly be chummy with the other side. So make of that what you will. In this day and age, with all these electronic records flying around, somebody is always watching. Somebody's going to find out. I think in one of these links, Project Veritas is on the ground in it's either Michigan or Wisconsin, and they've uncovered evidence of voting irregularities. Any big election, you're going to have those committed on both sides, but this there's a lot of evidence to back up what Trump said about people trying to steal the election from him. But let's enough. This is, I'm probably going to be talking about this next week. I've got a link. I don't know what to make of this one. I'm going to skip over that. I talked about the other day Americans pulling up and leaving the United States. They're tired of all this contention and rancor and all of our problems. I've got another link to that. I think I'll put it up. And I mentioned that Edward Snowden, that Snowden, who has been living in Russia for the past year or two, is now applying for Russian citizenship. And depending on which neocon in Washington you talk to, he's public enemy number one. Because, what did he do? Well, he dumped all this information that showed the war crimes being committed by the United States. And they said, he's compromised our people. Everybody's going to get killed now because of this information that the enemy has. And to my knowledge, I don't think a single person has been lost because of the truth coming out. We used to have whistleblower protection, but nobody really remembers this. You do, undoubtedly. What's that story? What is that story? Check the links, freedomprepper.com. And this is an Express story. So, of course, it's going to get covered up in pop-up ads. And I don't want to get distracted more than I already am. We'll just leave that. The last story of the day, our final word, is about the never-ending wonders of coffee. And I can't read Thank You Express tabloid pop-ups, but I remember enough. Coffee is a wonder food. That's why I'm so happy that we're launching a coffee brand. It appears that the wonders of the little coffee bean can, if not cure, then make much better the symptoms of OCD. So if you're obsessive compulsive, or if you have any kind of other ailment, Dr. Perrin's patented coffee snake oil will fix it. Check that out. And I think we're really getting close to launching Freedom Roasters Coffee. Maybe we're also getting close to me getting a real studio and learning what I'm doing. But it's certainly been fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to get it right eventually, I guess. Inspirational story, not about me. I was watching a video of a live Elvis concert from 1973, and it was Burning Love, and it was apparently the first time he'd ever sung the song. And this is, Elvis is getting kind of heavy, maybe, on something. He looked like he might be sick. He might have had the coronavirus 50 years in advance. And he's staggering around, mumbling, coughing, like me. And he's got a sheet of paper in his hand, and he's like, "Oh, all right, we're gonna get it right. I mean, this is our new song, and just bear with us. We're gonna get it right." I may find this one and try to link to it. So he's got the paper, and he starts singing a song that he has literally just written, and he kills it. It's because it's Elvis. Just nails it, and it's beautiful. So someday, I might be like that. Might get it right, and not keep going on and on and on. Folks, I gotta take Santa here riding his I don't know if that's a Harley or an Indian. It's probably an Indian because Santa's an unconventional guy. Could be a Triumph. I don't know. Take this show on the road. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and we're going to be back probably with more of the same about this never-ending election on Monday. Have a great weekend, and God bless.